Hi folks, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to do a quick video on something that I've been hearing a lot since I came here to Mexico, and that's called gringo pricing. So I have a few thoughts on that, not sure how I feel about the term, but I wanted to make some notes on how you might avoid gringo pricing and also to add some thoughts to that because it seems to me each time a person is surprised by a price, they say, "Oh, I'm being gringo priced," or "You're being gringo priced." So I have some thoughts about that and I'll add it at the end. So before I move on, my name is Heather, and my channel is designed to help people who have chronic illnesses or who are afraid that they may develop chronic illnesses move bravely into the world. But sometimes I move off that topic a little bit because I am establishing myself here in Mexico, and I want to share information because I want to help people as they make their decisions. So before I move on to my list, I have about 6 items I want to talk about. I want to give you a little background about my background. So I got on the global road when I was about 18, not about 2 seconds after I turned 18, because I joined the military, and then I worked for the federal government. And I'm about to roll into 60, and I have moved about every 2 or 3 years. So I have a lot of experience under my belt. Each country has a little flavor to it, but some things are exactly the same, even in the US. So keep that in mind as I go through this list, okay? I've been out there. Okay, so the first item on my list and how you might be able to avoid what they call gringo pricing, or basically people trying to take advantage if they think that you don't know what's going on. Oh, and by the way, this happens in the States all the time. If you spend some time and you think back, you say, that quote that guy just gave me, am I putting his kids through college? Am I helping him buy a boat? That's happened. If you own a house or ladies gone to a mechanic, you know that feeling. So don't think it's just happening here in Mexico. I think maybe that's why I don't like the term gringo pricing, because there are unscrupulous people everywhere. Okay, so let me get to my list. So one way you can avoid it, the first thing on my list in no particular order, is go to stores that have sticker prices on it, right? You know, a lot of stores here in Mexico, even though some people don't believe it, everything is labeled. If there's a label on something, absolutely, that's the price for you and any local or anyone that walks into the store. So try to choose stores that have stickers on it. And by the way, don't be afraid to question. That's point number 2. A couple months ago, I went on a road trip with Angel and his family, and we were in the sail zone between Mexico and Belize. And I picked up this little beach dress that, I don't know, it was, let's say, it was labeled 50 pesos, right? And I took it up to the counter, and young guy looked me straight in the face, said 150 pesos. And I said, "Excuse me?" You have to question, right? I said, "That label over there said this is a 50 peso dress." And he goes, "Okay." He was just trying, he was, as they say in the old Jurassic Park movie, he was testing the fences. So don't be afraid to question what people tell you because you know what's right. And by the way, oh, I have another example. I went to this pottery store and everything was labeled, but I picked up a piece of pottery that I really liked that had no label on it. So I walked up to the guy who kind of looked at me funny, and I asked him, "How much is this?" And he told me the equivalent of $185. I said, "Thank you very much." I walked back and I put it on the shelf, and me and my pesos walked out the door. Because you can do that, because people will try to take advantage. I'm not saying gringo pricing doesn't exist. So look at the prices and question. 3, just like you would do in the States when you're making a big purchase, research. Research. Ask for references. Get quotes from other folks. Understand what the price should be. Just because you're here in Mexico doesn't mean you shouldn't do your research. Any way that you would protect yourself in the States, you have to protect yourself here. I don't know. I think there are some people that come here with this bubble thinking that, everything is here and available for almost nothing. No. You have to do your research. You have to understand what the price should be. And if you go on to all the Facebook pages, if you don't have any, you haven't built a network yet, go to the Facebook, you go to YouTube, you just ask around, ask the person that helped you get settled here, ask, do a little research. Okay, the next item is, folks, get the price of something before you buy it. I know that sounds silly, but it seems that people don't do that here. They'll have someone come into their home to repair something, or even get in a taxi or whatever, or they pick up something and they just put it down and wait for the person to tell them how much it is, right? As they're giving them the money. So no, if someone, especially if someone's coming into your house and they're going to do a job, you ask them, how much is this going to cost me? Just like you would in the US. I feel I shouldn't be making this list, but because of all the things I've been hearing, I need to make this list. I need to remind people, especially people who haven't come here, that this place is not a panacea. You're going to have problems here and you're going to have to protect yourself. So, okay, you know the price, you've asked for the price. Understand exactly what it is that you're buying. Yeah. If someone is afraid to allow you to inspect the thing that you're buying, afraid to allow you to chat to people they've worked with before, afraid in any way, if they are not transparent, do not trust them, just like you wouldn't in the States, right? So you need to know exactly the services or the product that you're buying. It's particularly so, I found, in contracts. Let's say you're renting a place, you need to know what you'll be paying for and what the landlady or landlord will be paying for. Because somewhere in that contract, if you don't have it looked at a lawyer, it may say that you're responsible for all the maintenance in the apartment, which is just crazy. Yeah, I'll change a light bulb, but I'm not going to fix your leaky roof. So understand exactly what it is you're paying for. Okay, my next point. I keep looking away because I have a list. I don't want to ramble. I just want to make this short and sweet. So the next one, and folks, this next point is so important because I've only been here a short while. And people say, well, I've been here 10 years and I have more experience. And yes, thankfully, life is an ongoing learning experience, but it doesn't take 10 years to have a half an hour experience of being ripped off. You know what that feels like, okay? So if you are doing something, having something to do with buying a house, building a house, hiring contractors to dress your house, hire someone reputable. It is quite possible that you can do this on your own in the States because you have been there, you understand, and there are legal systems to help you out in the States. But here, and in many other countries I've lived in, you need to hire someone, a reputable, tried and true contractor who will hire reputable, tried and true laborers who will do what they say they're going to do in the way that they say they're going to do it and will guarantee their work. Folks, pay a little bit of money up front to make sure you have someone on your side. I don't care who it is, an agent, a consultant, I don't care. Just hire someone that can have your back. Because in Mexico, when something goes wrong, you might be able to get into the court system in 10 years, you know? So hire someone that will guarantee their work and guarantee the work of the people who are in your home and that you can trust and other people have trusted, right? That to me is a huge one. So my last point, okay, so this one I think seems to be involved in every, you're being Gringo Price. Am I being Gringo Price? Is folks, you need to understand the reality of what's on the ground. There are a lot of things here in Mexico that are much less expensive than in the States or many other countries. It's true. But you need to be sure that your surprise and your anger that you're being ripped off isn't based on expectations that someone else has put into your head. Make sure you're not living in some fantasy that someone has sold you about how much it truly costs to live here in Mexico. I really want you to think about that because quite often we hear all these wonderful stories, and some of them are true, but some of them may be old, some of them may not be accurate, and you're going to come and think, wow, these locals are horrible, they're ripping me off. No, in many cases, they're not ripping you off. Most of the people I've met here are honest, wonderful people. Sometimes the problem is our faulty expectations of what exists here in Mexico. We may be working on ideas that were developed 20 years ago, or wow, with inflation these days, ideas that were developed 3 years ago or 2 years ago. And in some cases for materials, 6 months ago. So folks, be aware of these things. And instead of me asking you how you want to spend your health with this video, I want to ask you, are you living in reality with your expectations for Mexico when you say, I've been Gringo Priced? So that's it for today. I hope you will have a great one. Bye-bye.